These will lay the kind of orientation or interpretations to this agreement, and that will provide us. We feel in this trade agreement there must be that. Of course, our reference point is the African Continental Free Trade Area as a major document, so that there is no diversion or derogation from what is expected of these two parties. Then we thought also that there must be issues of non-discrimination, of course, borrowing from WTO, the MSN principle. We talk about treatment between two parties or a member state. If a product from country A goes to the other party, should be treated about the supplier or individuals. You know how we did the mode for many years ago when we came as young people. Okay, now we have grown. The national treatment is the same. The two parties should be able to handle each other with care in terms of their implementation of the specified objectives. And then also say this agreement cannot be complete without institutional framework. What do we mean by institutional framework? In both parties' countries, which ministry or which body will be responsible to drive the agenda of this agreement? For instance, in Zambia, we do is COMESA. The implementing ministry is the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. But when it comes to SADC, it's Foreign Affairs. So it's a matter of choice. So say that should be spelled out right away in the agreement. Of course, we also thought an agreement cannot stand the test of time without substantive provisions or areas of concern that relate to trade. And most issues that relate to trade include issues to do with imports. We left out the export, they're supposed to be there as well. And these attract some costs in terms of duties and so on. How do you handle those? Are they in line with the vision of African Continental Free Trade in terms of removing barriers to trade and any non-tariff barriers? So that is also critical. Rules of origin are critical, are substantial. In a trade agreement, it would be amazing not to find rules of origin section. So we felt this is also important, that relate to goods and services. In standards, in terms of harmonization, then sanitary measures, how this can be handled, and at what point can you use them if there is need. You know, where there are two people, there will always be issues. Now, if there are issues, how would you ensure that that is handled? So there must be a section to deal with that. So it's non-tariff barriers as well as technical barriers. So we have also issues of quantitative import restrictions. There must be a section on that. Those are pure trade issues. Even issues of customs, we'll be looking at that. Even quantitative export restrictions, so that should be there. Above all, we have to understand also issues of dumping, anti-dumping in the framework of World Trade Organization as the overall body that regulates trade. So if you put any section, should not be derogation from that. It must be in line. So is the African Continental Free Trade Area. So that's also another element that should recognize this level of interaction. We had a debate on subsidies because the other school of thought, they were saying there are some countries that may not worry about subsidies, but it's a controversial issue. Some countries, subsidies like European countries and in America, issues of subsidies are very key. That's why the door round of negotiations were delayed because of subsidies. But probably at the beginning, you must have that, how it needs to be handled, even countervailing measures. Then safeguard measures, when you feel one country is trying to dominate on the other, how can you respond to that? So we feel there must be that section as well. And of course, to every rule is an exception. So what is this exception? The detailed document should be able to show us that. There was a debate on WEX, and I consulted the Honorable Justice on that, he gave guidance. But it's an issue where basically, going on and talking in terms of WEX. If you remember very well when we were doing 503 or so, there is government procurement in WTO. Now, us who are procurement officers, by way of the procurement office, procurement cannot be complete. There are 3 sections: works, services, and goods. But most legal documents relate to goods and services. What happened to works? So there must be an agenda to bring that element, so that there is an instrument that will regulate that. And this is where most countries actually, their money is taken. Then there must be final provisions, having agreed to all these elements that form an agreement. What should be the entry date for this agreement to be effective? So there will be that through exchange of notes, or exchange of letters or diplomatic notes. That will be communicated, the date can be set, of course, basing it on the drafting principles, the states and so on, but those now going to leading to implementation. And then also felt that there must be an amendment section. If situation change the environment, like the way we had COVID-19, what do you do? The supply chain globally was affected. Which provisions can you change? Do we have a procedure to do that so that the country or the 2 member states of contracting parties do not lose their stake? So that should be there. Or maybe it's a turnaround situation in internal home affairs, for which areas can you touch? In Zambia, we have a situation where agreements have been signed with multinationals on tax royalties, but people start complaining. Why can't you change this? You find out you've tied yourself for a number of years, maybe 15 years. What do you do? The master admin section. Even the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties has procedures of how you can do an amendment. Then, of course, to every contract, to every rule, there must be ways of how you can end it. Termination clause must be there, if that be. So the 2 parties should ensure that that kind of clause. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Without much ado, Group 1.